Hello everyone and welcome back to one more tutorial of the multi-track mode of OXI One. We're going to look onto more features this time to get even more of your one. If you missed the previous videos about the basics, there's a link in the description for you to watch it. If you like our videos, please like and subscribe, it motivates us to do more content for you. Let's start with other views of the multi-track mode. You can edit and modify each step manually via the step parameters, but there is also a quick way to edit velocity, gate, length, and the modulation line for the selected track. The column views are accessible by clicking the first encoder to display velocity, the third encoder for gate, and the fourth encoder for the mod column views. This makes it easy to draw, for example, your own velocity curves for each step. Since firmware 4 of the OXI One, if you are using a track to create melodies or basslines, you'll want to know about the piano roll view. You can enter it by clicking or holding the octave encoder on the selected track. Let's create a bassline. Plus, you can do vertical scrolling by turning the encoder. This is very useful for visualizing and creating monophonic melodic sequences. Now let's get back to the keyboard view to cover some more aspects. If you press a pad or respective track in the 14th column of the drum view, it arms the track. The keyboard will be displayed as a regular full keyboard. The different MIDI channels set per track are taken into account. This allows you to play the keyboard and thus record a specific synth with the keyboard in the selected or armed track. Just press record and start recording your sequence. The roller is a feature that takes notes held on the keyboard to create rhythmic patterns. The roll rate is selected with these 8 pads. It's located in the 13th column on the drum view and the roll rate increases from bottom to top. We first select which track we want to use the roller and press the respective roller rate we want to apply. You can press Shift plus Hold to hold the notes of the keyboard and we'll have the roller working on top of them, creating another kind of rhythmic pattern. The Division menu allows you to set various time and playback settings to create complex sequences. Let's spice our synth line. Press the Div button to enter the Division menu. In multi-track, the Division menu parameters are set per track, so you can select. The first encoder is the track selection. Let's select our synth track. Second encoder selects playback direction of the track: forward, backward, pendulum, random, or drunk. Third encoder selects division randomization of the track, from 0% to 100% of probability each step that the track time division is going to change. The fourth encoder selects the time division of the track, the same value as the track menu screen. Since different tracks can have different length and play speeds, the following features may be handy for you. You can set a specific reset time in the track setup, using Shift plus double press sequencer button to set a reset time after a number of bars. It helps to keep different track lengths a bit more predictable when you create complex sequences with different time signatures. You can also configure the play button to reset the sequencer playhead to get everything back in sync after changing track lengths or divisions, while the sequencer is running. For that, enter the config menu, go to Performance menu, and set the play-pause behavior to reset. This will affect all 4 sequencers. If you want to affect a specific sequencer only, you can do the following button combo: Shift plus Mute plus sequencer button. Experimenting with the division menu will open doors to even more interesting sequences. Steps can be previewed as in other sequencer modes. Just press Shift plus keyboard and the preview mode will be enabled. Now, when you place a trigger on a track, you'll hear a preview of the sound. Preview also works when you change the step pitch or the track bass note as well. You can input notes by pressing an empty pad and then use the first 3 encoders to add up a note. The first encoder is velocity, the second encoder note, the third encoder gate, and the fourth encoder sets the amount of modulation for the mod lane. This is another way to add notes fast to your track sequence. When the step chord button is active or tapping the Shift key while holding a step, it will take you to the step submenu. Instead of repeats, you can set steps to skip by turning the retrig encoder fully counterclockwise until you reach skip. The transport bar ignores the step, making the sequence length shorter and changing the feel of the pattern. Another cool trick is adding random skips to spice up rhythms and melodies. Go to Random Perform and set the retrigger percentage to a negative value. Still with the step chord button active, or tapping the Shift key while holding a step, it will take you to the step submenu. In the logic conditions, you can use even more conditions like pre and not pre. Pre triggers the note if the previous step also triggered the note. Not pre triggers a note if the previous didn't trigger a note. First and not first. First triggers note only the first time after playback starts. Note first, triggers note always, but not the first time after playback starts. These logic conditions allow you to create even more complexity on short sequences. You can copy and paste one multitrack track into another. Just press Copy and tap the first pad of the source track. Then, press Paste and tap the first pad of the destination track. And you can also copy a mono sequence into a multitrack track. You can also use multitrack mode to sequence your modular gear. To configure the multitrack mode to send CV and gates, you need to enter the CV Gate Assign menu. Press Shift and the LFO button. Once here, we can assign each output of a track in the multitrack sequencer to the corresponding CV and gate outs of your choice. For example, our multitrack mode is currently in sequencer 4. And our kick is the first track of the multitrack, and we want to use gate 1 out to sequence it. So we select the 4th row from the top and press the first pad on the 4th row of the gates out. In the menu, we can turn the first encoder to select the source track that we want to send via gate. Let's do the same for our bassline on track 2, which has different notes, so we need to also send CV along gates. We are going to use CV out 2 and gate out 2 to send the notes. Now, we press the CV and gate out 2 pads and select track 2 as our source. It's very simple to configure MIDI and CV gate tracks on the OXI One. These features complete the basic overview of the multitrack mode. In the next videos, we will talk about modulation and randomization, so remember to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to our channel to get the latest videos. I hope you enjoyed it. See you soon!